hip-hop soul in the crowd. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. It is week one. Second week we're doing this, but week one here on the Robin Stew Show of the College Pick Show. Oh, a decent week zero we're coming off of. Hopefully you made some money. We're going to try and make some more money here coming up this week. Let's jump right into it. Introduce the panel. You know him, you love him. Making his return appearance, even though his name's on the show, not drunk, not absolutely hammered on a Tuesday night. Really great stuff, Roberto. You're doing some good stuff over there.
You know, listen, I was at my grandmother's funeral, God rest her soul, okay? And we had a couple drinks after the funeral, a couple drinks led to a couple shots of tequila, and then the Peroni started. It was a rough Tuesday. It was rough for your boy on Wednesday at work. It wasn't easy.
I texted you at 6 a.m. and you said, I want to die.
Yeah, that's honestly what I replied. I was just ready to end it all.
And Rutgers football hasn't even started yet. Real tough scenes.
This is true.
Next up, the director of media relations for the Pulse Sports Network. You know him, you love him. He is the host of Georgia Football in the current and present time. He is J.C. Shelton. Hey, welcome back, J.C. How's it going, man?
Good to see you guys, Rob. It's good to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you. CVD, I love you, buddy. Stu, your head looks better than ever. But we still got to get you better lighting. We got to get you better lighting and a camera that actually fills up the screen. But
this is what we're working with, baby.
Yeah, and I decided for week one, we actually got some good games coming up. And I like to vote the big boys. So we're gonna play the big boys. I know the FCS experts fill out the rest of the show. But I'll talk the big games for you guys.
The money's in the crumbs, and there's not a crumb. He is the MVP of this show every single week. He's the whole effing show. Mr. Tuesday Night, Mr. Worldwide. He is CVD. He's better than you, and you know it. Chris Van Dine.
Putting words into my mouth. I'm not better than anybody. I might be better looking.
Salt of the earth.
Probably a better wrestler, and other than that, probably not much. Week zero was week zero. The funny story is I actually couldn't watch many of the games because I had to go to a wedding. No one I knew. So one of those your wife's friends, you got to go along with them. So I got to watch half the Notre Dame game and the very end of the Louisiana Tech game. Didn't miss much.
Okay, so two things there. First off, was Elvis Gerback at that wedding?
Yes, he was. Yes, Elvis Gerback was at the wedding I was at.
He leaves that out. He goes, hey, wow. Elvis Gerback's at this wedding. And I go, look, call the authorities. Elvis Gerback's a war criminal.
Listen. A famous chief, a famous San Francisco 49er.
Yep. Hell of a QB with the Chiefs. Too bad he's a war criminal. He supports Putin. I've seen it on Twitter. Second thing.
He has a nice white beard now.
Does he really? Wow.
Yeah.
We're
How tall
very
was
old.
He was like 6'6", wasn't he? He was a big dude.
He's pretty tall. I danced with him.
Yeah, beautiful.
Slow dance.
It's 2023. We're not judging.
No, World Star live.
I don't want to get canceled. So of course we're not judging. We embrace that.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'll be honest. I didn't even talk to him, but he was there.
Very wild. And second of all, still waiting on that Flow Sports account because I had to go onto YouTube.
Oh man,
I had to go onto YouTube and find the radio feed for Albany football. Okay, and I had to listen to the game. All right.
I'm so I got to that wedding and I can't even blame it on the alcohol because I only had a couple drinks.
Next time. just so I'm not looking up radio feeds for obscure schools. Let's get into the picks. Roberto, you're off to a hot start. 0-0, 0-0 right now.
That's right.
It can only go down from here. So as a reminder for you gentlemen and the friends and family that are listening, look, dog, lock, and other picks, you can relay them in any order. Just make sure that, you say dog when you're going to do dog, JC, and lock when you're going to do a lock, JC, so that you're not just
I was perfect last week.
Okay.
Listen.
Well, 1 week doesn't negate 3 years.
Wait, didn't you have Vanderbilt last week?
I did. Yeah, that would look good for a minute there. And well, go Commodores.
Hate to see that.
I'll say you got me on the UTEP Jacksonville State one, but
I did laugh at that though.
You guys did go
man.
1-1.
2 plays, 1 yard. Ugh.
Gavin Hardison, AIDS.
You know what though?
He's horrible.
So okay, the third down pass was dropped. They dropped the touchdown pass on third down.
Okay, you watched the entire game. He was horrific.
Hold on. On fourth down, I will say that he went to the wrong place. But one of the ex-UTEP players broke it down on Twitter, and I actually noticed it when I watched that replay. That outside receiver got pushed so far off his route, he completely knocked the slot out of the play. The fourth down interception wasn't really on Hardison. It was on the receiver that got completely bumped off his route into the slot receiver, took the slot receiver out of the play, and Hardison was thrown to where the slot should have been. So, but the inside guy was wide open.
I'll say this: that entire game, Jacksonville State was beating them in the trenches. Hardison throughout most of the game, he had that nice touchdown that wasn't a touchdown that got called back, and a few nice plays here and there. But some of those, that pick in the second quarter, I want to say, horrific.
Yeah, no, that was bad. He just always does some good, some bad.
You know what he is? He's Austin Aune version 2.0.
Aune can run a little bit at least. But Zion Webb couldn't throw the ball. Jacksonville State didn't move the ball.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, no, they were running a glorified, RPO.
Yeah.
With that heavy,
which is wild for a Rich Rodriguez offense.
Well, that's what he's got. Zion can't throw. It's not good. It could be worse. Yeah, it could be worse. It could be Evan Simon back there or Gavin Wimsatt. It'd be really bad. Roberto, lead us off.
How dare you? All right. First bet. I really love Saturday. Boise State, Washington. I love the over in this game at 58.5. Washington's coming into the season as a top 10 team. A lot of hype with Penix at quarterback. Boise State, I think, is really improved on their offense. I don't like Washington's defense. I think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game. I love the over at 58.5.
All right.
Pretty quiet.
What? No, you go through your picks. You give your reasoning.
Okay. Now, my best bet of the weekend, listen, you guys know I'm not an FCS guy. That's all for Stu. That's all for Chris. They know those teams inside and out. Not me. I'm with JC here. I pick the bigger type games. I'm the sucker, right? I'm the average guy in the sports book. My best bet is Sunday night. I absolutely love Florida State on the money line. I love this FSU team. I'm buying into the hype. LSU, I am not buying this team one bit. Some people have them as a national championship team. I'm not a fan of the quarterback. I think FSU is loaded. I like Jordan Travis. I love this team. I'm going money line Sunday night in this game.
Jalen Daniels goes straight to hell. I like him.
Oh, yeah, Jaden.
I don't like Jalen
Daniels.
Daniels. Call me crazy. I'm not a Jalen Daniels fan. I wasn't in Arizona State. I'm not at LSU.
That's where
I just don't believe it.
He really doesn't like Herm Edwards.
I think it has to be something, dude. I don't think anybody just hates Jaden Daniels. Seems like a nice guy.
He seems it. Listen, I'm a Philadelphia sports fan. I'll hate anything. So that doesn't scare me to hate something. And my last game of the weekend, a game I really like. I love TCU Saturday. Absolutely love them. I think Colorado is going to be the biggest sucker bet in the world. I think people are going to be betting out on Dion. I just think this is a perfect spot for TCU to smack Colorado around. Love them in this game. Love them first half and love them game.
So you want TCU game and TCU first half?
Yes.
Okay, so what is TCU first half? What is that? 10?
I got 20 and a half here, so you want to give it 11 maybe? A lot of times the book will go a half point over.
Okay, we'll go 11 for first half. Now, do you have a dog you like this week?
On the money line or just in the points?
It can be a money line plus the points.
Well, FSU's a slight dog on the money line. A slight
But
dog.
that is your lock.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's my lock. Yes.
Okay, so what is your dog? If you understand the concept of the show.
Oh, I got
You've only been doing it for like 3 years.
Only 3 years. Okay, I'm going to give you a big dog for the game. And only because they kind of start slow sometimes, and I'm not a big McCord guy. I think Indiana could cover this 29 and a half.
Okay. Indiana. Rob says Ohio State, sure, they beat us by 60 points every year. I'm going to take Indiana to keep it close.
What happened to Mel Tucker's first game?
All right, JC, we're on to you. JC Shelton of UGA American Football present. What would you like to give to us today, good sir?
What was my record?
You're coming off a 3-3 week. That's a great point. Last week, JC 3-3, 1-0 on his dog pick, calling for Jack State plus 1.5. Missed on his lock of Vandy, Louisiana Tech, who I wish nothing but horrible things to. USC did not cover as well, but hit on Notre Dame first half and Notre Dame game. 3-3, coming off a nice week.
No, we got to be better than this. We got to be better. Okay.
Hey, 50%, you're in second place.
Yeah, we don't like second. I was, champion 2 seasons ago. So
yeah, well, not last season.
No,
well, you're right. Yeah, I won't pull the Bobcat and just rest on my Alabama laurels of wins in the past. All right, we'll start lock here. Let me find it for Stu. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I love where you went here, Rob. TCU, baby.
Absolutely.
TCU all day. And I also was going to take the half as well.
As a lock or just regular play?
We'll just regular play the first half. Let's just go with one lock here for TCU. I think, other than 3 players for Colorado, what do they have? I think in the trenches, they're going to get rocked in this game. I'm a Dion fan, but I really hate this team. The roster's atrocious. I don't see them competing up front, and that's really where it starts and ends for me. So give me the 2022 Natty losers. And then we'll go dog here. Let's do, Rob, you're my favorite buddy. I'm definitely going to take South Carolina to cover this. It just seems like a game Shane Beamer gets. The hype has been built. How does he make a name for himself?
Under 3, remember, JC, under 3 points with the dog, you have to go money line.
Yeah, I was going to. I was unsure of that rule, if we did that or not.
Yeah,
I initially had money line.
It's called the Bobcat rule.
Okay. Yeah, okay, we're good there. I just changed it because I thought that was frowned upon. Yeah. So South Carolina, let's go money line. That's fine with me. Just seems like a game that Shane Bieber gets. Like I said, it'll be so big for his program. I know they have to replace some weapons, so I'm interested to see about that. But I know the way they ended last year was really good for that program. I think they believe in themselves from that. Obviously Spencer Rattler, he could have a great game or could have a horrendous game. Feels like he always makes the throws you don't think he's going to make, and then misses the ones that he does.
It's
But if he can
alopecia.
Might be. It might be. But I think this is a really big game for that program in-state, well, not in-state, but your rivals, right? Would help recruiting tremendously. I think Shane Beamer has a lot riding on this game. I think they'll do well and kind of keep that momentum from last year at the end. Let's do just the picks here. We'll go Utah -6.5 versus Florida. Utes were 5-1 against the spread last season as home faves. Love that. I know they lost that game closely last year. Cam Rising might miss this one. We're still recovering from that ACL, so watch out for that. But Utah is, I think, simply more.
Brent Kuthi also questionable.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll definitely watch on this. I haven't placed it yet. This is just what I'm thinking now, but I'll keep an eye on that. But I'll go ahead and call it for the purpose of the show. I think they were a more complete team, right? I mean, they were much better on the both sides of the ball than Florida was last year. Over the average of the season. Gators really couldn't run the ball last season. AR was obviously a turnover liability. I don't think it's a good situation from Graham Mertz there. You know, maybe he makes me a believer this weekend, but I'm really not counting on it. And I think that road game and for Florida here just doesn't look good. Can they stop Utah when it gets in the third, fourth quarters with the front? That's what we'll be looking at. Maybe, and even if it's a 7-point game, you're good here. So let's do next one. We'll go Louisville -7.5 versus Georgia Tech, fighting Yellow Jackets. I would love to see Georgia Tech really good. You know, as you know, covering Georgia football, I love when they're really good. It makes a great way to cap off the season, but I just don't think they're there yet. Offensive line is a question for the Cardinals here. I mean, they lost a couple starters. New head coach and Jeff Brom. I like what he did at Purdue. You know, Jack Plummer, it was his former quarterback. He comes over, knows the offense. I think that'll help that transition from a new system. And then we look at Tech, they really can't stop the run. And they couldn't last year, and they had really some talented players on that front seven, and they lost them. You know, offensively, Tech has a whole new system to learn as well under Buster Faulkner. I just don't think they have the players here that Louisville's does at certain positions. So I think I like Louisville here to cover. And then we'll go good old Rocky Top versus Virginia, 27.5 is a big line. But I mean, I like Joe Milton. I think he goes off in this game. I don't think there's any way UV can keep up with the speed of that Vols offense once they get going. Watch for the running game, and I'm sure Chris can talk to you about this. Watch for that running game. It should tell you early on how productive it is, how this game goes. You know, once that gets going for the Vols, I think they'll score fast and often. You know, UV's offense, I don't think is going to challenge even much with a pretty inexperienced secondary from a start standpoint for Tennessee. They have some talented guys there, but they need to prove themselves there. So watch out for that. But I think Tennessee covers and looks really good in this game. And my last pick, the Fighting Jaden Danielses. I'm definitely going to take LSU here. I think they have a coaching advantage. That was very clear. I love Jaden Daniels. I don't know what the crap Rob is talking about. Led the SEC in rushing as a quarterback last year, 4 quarterbacks last year. He's healthy. That ankle really hurt him in the SEC championship game. I think he really developed as a passer last year. And I think you pair that with a tough game that Brian Kelly, I think he showed enough about his coaching last year to get these guys prepared for games where they weren't even favored. They did much better than they were supposed to last year. I think they're confident in that and how they finished. Can FSU play tough up front for 4 quarters? A 3 to 7 point game. I think the line's just is too good for me to pass up. That's the picks.
All right, on to the MVP of this show, salt of the earth, Chris Van Dine, coming off a 1-2 week. Hit his dog. Hawaii covers with a 4th quarter barrage. Loses his lock on UTEP, and Louisiana Tech can burn in hell. 1-2 week for CVD. How do you get back above the 500 mark this week, sir?
All right. Well, I'm going to start. I'm actually going to give out one of our power sweep plays. I'm going to go Virginia Tech as my lock. Last year, they lost this game to Old Dominion. It was kind of a fluky win for Old Dominion. It was on the road for Virginia Tech. different teams though, and second year under Brent Pry, and I think he's going to have this team improved. I'm not a big Grant Wells fan. I would have rather have seen him go with Kyron Jones, but I do think Jones is going to get some run and some formations. But the two things here: Old Dominion has 7 starters back. I think they might be the worst team in the Sun Belt this year. Their starting quarterback was a backup at Fordham last year. His name escapes me at the moment, but it's just not Grant Wilson is the starting quarterback at Old Dominion. Not a very good Old Dominion team going into Blacksburg, who is angry after last year's loss. And I'll be honest, I think 15 points feels really cheap here for Virginia
I've got
Tech.
16. I'm showing.
Yeah, okay, go up to 16. Enter Sandman.
I have 15 and a half in this book.
I'm sure it's all over the place. 15 and a half. So we can go 16.
That's
I
fine.
think it'll cover comfortably. Like I said, Old Dominion, I don't think is very good. And in fact, Old Dominion's best player from last year, Ollie Jennings, now plays for Virginia Tech. And he had a pretty good game against the Hokies last year. So I think, Virginia Tech, they're not projected to be one of the better ACC teams, but I do think they're going to be vastly improved from last year. And I think that this is a prime spot to get some revenge. And they probably won't let up very much because, they only won 3 games last year. So I think if they do get a lead, they're going to continue to pour it on and remind Old Dominion of who they are. For my underdog, I'm going to go with Colorado State. Mike Norvell, he came into a tough situation last year, had a lot of turmoil, had to really kind of purge some of the roster. And by the time the season ended, they started playing a little better. They had close loss to Wyoming, 12-point loss to Air Force, won the season finale. 15 starters back this year. Washington State coming into Colorado State, they're going to have to deal with the elevation. They're going to be playing a more experienced team. Colorado State's quarterback Millen completed 72% of his passes last year, and they have an All-American 1,000-yard wide receiver in Horton. I just think this is going to be a closer game than people expect. Washington State.
Cam Ward moved on. I thought he was still there.
He is still there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he is still there. That doesn't bother me. What were they? 7-5 last year, I believe. 7-6. Lost to Fresno State, another Mountain West team, in a blowout in the bowl game. 29-6, and they only put up 182 yards in that game. So getting double digits here at home for Colorado State, who I think is going to be much improved from last year. I'll take the Rams there. Moving on, I will back Rob on Florida State. I'll take the Noles getting the points. I do think if you look at last year's game, they pretty much controlled that game for about 55 minutes. It was the last 5 minutes where it kind of got away from them, and they let LSU score a couple times late when, I think they went into more of a conservative defense. I do think that Florida State's probably the more talented team here. They brought in a ton of transfers. Sometimes that scares me, but I think the Florida State with an experienced quarterback will be able to get it done. This is a big line, but I'm going to take Texas A&M minus 38 against New Mexico. New Mexico has 10 starters back. They haven't scored a single point in their last 2 games against SEC teams. And if there was ever a situation where I think you don't necessarily look past the team is with Texas A&M. They were 5-7 last year. Yes, they have Miami on deck, but they can't afford to really look past anybody right
Connor
now.
Wegman has to have a game. He has to put on a show.
And I think they're going to want to show that the offense has some firepower. They're going to want to get some confidence going in the next week. And the defense is probably going to force a couple turnovers against a bad New Mexico team. So I will take A&M. It's a big line, like I said, but I'll take A&M laying the points. And there was one other game I had that I circled, and I can't remember what it was. I will take South Alabama getting the points.
Oh, I was looking at that. That's just such a tough game.
Yeah, and my thing is, as long as it's around a touchdown, you give me 6.5, 7 points. I think South Alabama could win this game. Tulane might be in a little bit of a hangover mode after, beating USC last year. I think there's some overlay on this game because of that. But South Alabama only lost to UCLA by 1 point on the road last year. They are a very experienced team. I think they could easily pull the upset on the road. And there's a lot of talk that, one of these teams could be that group of 5 New Year's 6 bowl contender at the end of the year if either team wins their conference, because they're both so experienced and talented. So, I think I'll stick with those plays and move on. Hopefully a better week.
All right. ncsports.com, where you can get Power Sweep podcast coming back this week, sir.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we'll release it tomorrow night.
Beautiful. I can't wait. That's going to be gym material for Thursday morning. Something Roberto wouldn't know about.
Oh, humble brag. He's doing 250 in the gym now. Let him say it. He just.
Oh, you know what, Stu? I'm going to throw one more play out. I'm going to take Hawaii getting the points against Stanford.
Oh,
I think
right.
Stanford's
comfortable.
gonna be,
He's getting comfortable.
3.5.
I think Stanford's going to be really bad this year. I didn't love
That's
our coach.
interesting. That's interesting. That's the last game you picked, because that was the last game I left off. Put Hawaii back on my card. I scratched it off. Hawaii's back on the card. Hawaii.
Dude, drinking from the CBD tit there.
Plus 3.5. I crossed it out. I can show you. I crossed it out.
So you brought it back, baby. You gotta
I
start
brought
using
it back.
a pencil, big dog.
He instilled confidence in me in that everything I looked at. Stanford looks horrific on paper.
Yeah, they do.
And Hawaii, watching them against Vanderbilt, the offense, we're back to the Timmy Chang days of throw the ball every single opportunity you get, and points. So I like it's gonna be fun on the Big Island this year. Not on Maui, but on the Big Island. Let's go to my picks. Coming off 4-2, game of the year hits easy. Done at halftime. Done. Game. Albany. Great Danes. Beautiful.
Just remember who gave you that one.
I gave
CBD,
that one.
CBD gets a point, right? So it's CBD.
No,
game of the
CBD
year.
didn't give me that one.
Stu,
I put
CBD
out
game.
Albany. You just concurred with it.
You did.
You've taught me well. I'm your pupil. I'm going to.
I have taught you.
Oh my gosh!
I have
I'll
taught
get a
you
room.
I have taught you my FCS ways.
Yes, I'm going to outcompete you in the FCS this year.
We'll see.
Gosh.
Well, we'll see.
Oh,
We'll keep that as a side deal.
Rob, you wanna part off and do our own little show, or
Does anybody notice tonight that Stu cut the sleeves off of that West Virginia shirt? I mean,
Hey, look, I'm
he's
happy
dying
you bring
for
that.
those things to get.
Hey, look,
those little T-Rex arms. Are dying.
the pythons are purring, okay, and they're purring because West Virginia travels to Happy Valley.
Oh, West Virginia.
What you want to talk about a great football school? Oh, let's talk about the Nittany Lions. I'm taking Penn State minus 20.5, hence the shirt. Let's go back to the FCS. I am most likely, and I'll put out my FCS plays on the Twitter machine Saturday morning for what gets added to the card. But Northern Iowa is getting added to the card right now. We're taking Northern Iowa. Don't have a spread. Taking Northern Iowa. Theo Day, the pride of Warren De La Salle, the pride of Michigan State. He went off to the FCS where the water meets its level, and he's doing great things there. A lot of unders. So I love unders. Week 1, rolling clock. A lot of unders. I'm going under City. USF, Western Kentucky, our Hilltoppers, under 70.5. I just don't think they score that many points with the clock running. USF returns, although their defense is horrific, they are returning 9 starters. Alex Golich loves his DC. I'll roll with it. It doesn't look like USF can score competently. We know Western Kentucky can. I've seen them get some stops on defense before, I swear. I feel like this is like 38-21 or something. It'll be low 60s, but 70 is asking a lot, especially first game of the year. So I'm taking under 70.5. Rutgers, Northwestern, the Super Bowl game, Super Bowl
Huge
Sunday.
rating.
Some
Huge
people
rating.
huge. It's gonna be massive on CBS.
They're bringing in extra stands for Sunday.
You're gonna need it at Rutgers.
You complain that we talk FCS.
Wow. Love
Wow,
it.
that's tough.
Wow. That hurt.
From the top ropes.
Yeah, that's a killer.
I hate to see it.
Rutgers Northwestern under 39.5. This game should be approaching Army Navy territory. This is really
This is
tough.
a pinball game.
I've got two dogs this week. First, South Carolina money line. I agree with JC. I love South Carolina here. I think their offense is just going to be way better than North Carolina's defense. And I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Northern Illinois, I forget who they're playing, but plus 8.5. That feels like free
Boston
money.
College.
What Boston? Oh no. Oh, Rob. Oh, I hope Joe Baggs isn't listening.
Oh, man.
I forgot about that.
That's assault. That's assault.
Huskies plus 8.5. And now for my lock. Locks are tough. And I don't want to get too big for my britches after a week 0 game of the year, 1-0. So I want to go back. I want you to know where you're going. You got to look back. So I'm going all the way back to the birthplace of college football, boys. And in tough times, you need a knight in shining armor. And we're going to have the Knights. minus 6.5. Rutgers. Book it. Lock, Roberto. The Knights.
Lock it up. Lock it
The
up.
Knights go marching
Love it.
one by one.
Love it.
Not the Saints, the Knights. And that's the picks. That's the picks. I mean, gentlemen, Rutgers is the play.
God, bro.
CB
Talking about Vanderbilt of the Big Ten right now.
And that's the show.
And that's the show. JC, what we got over on the Pulse?
Yeah, no, we got actually doing a live show this week for UGA Football Live on Thursday. If you guys ain't doing nothing at 8. And for you Georgia fans, we're having former Georgia tight end Arthur Lynch on. We're going to just talk shop for 30 minutes. UT Martin, who gives a crap, but we're going to talk about the new Georgia offense, new starters.
How dare you talk about the Skyhawks like that?
Corner. There's not even a line. There's not even a line for these guys. That's how bad it's going to be. We're going to see a lot of young players playing, so we're going to run through that and kind of figure out what these guys are going to look like if they keep playing this season. A lot of young guys in the defense, the cornerback, and stuff like that. So we're going to talk to all that through. We're going to do that for our game preview. Also have a conversation with Aaron Murray. Came out today talking about Carson Beck. He sat down with him twice this offseason. So you can find stuff there. Also, UGA Wire, USA Today Sports. Still got some stuff working there, as well as the Players Lounge. Lead editor there over Georgia, Clemson, and Chris Van Dine's Vols. So he's out there.
Beautiful. CVD, check him out. ncsports.com. Get your power sweep. Best deal in sports. Go check them out. Power Sweep podcast out tomorrow. So download that. Roberto, the only plug I can give you is what New Jersey Turnpike rest stop will you be at Sunday morning?
Saturday's going to be a day. Saturday, I'm supposed to have a day off. Supposed to have a free day, so it's going to be a lot of gambling, a lot of losing, a lot of nasty text messages to Stu for his awful plays, probably. And I can't wait. I mean, college football's back. This is, the greatest time of year. NFL's right around the corner. It's the best. Can't wait.
Going to be given hand release at the Dean Martin Travel Center. It's going to be excellent. New Jersey Turnpikes, folks.
How dare you? It's at the Sunoco behind the Roy Rogers. Anyways, people know what.
Yeah. It's out there. It's on
Because
Reddit.
you got to do what you got to do for a Gold Rush chicken sandwich from Roy Rogers. I mean, if you haven't had it, you don't know, and you never will. So don't worry about it.
Wow, that big fried chicken up north, that must be a sight.
That's right.
That must be
That's
something.
right.
Oh, on that exciting note, for CBD, for JC, and for Roberto, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you after a while.
Go Dogs.